Welcome into Focus, where we try to focus on everything you're doing. I'm Sheila Smoot.
And I'm Rhonda Robinson. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome, welcome. And you know what? We want to focus today on our hot topic. First of all, I want to ask Rhonda a question because I know this topic is about me. This
Really?
hot topic. You're talking about double trouble.
Isn't it always about you though, for real?
Not really.
No, it's Sheila's world. We just live in it.
Okay. And speaking of that, so I do like the way she threw me into the bus, not under it. If you get smashed in the bus, that's a whole nother feeling than getting thrown under a bus, because you don't see what's happening to you. Actually, Rhonda and I have been on television a long time doing, what would you call that segment that we did, the gotcha segment?
Yeah, or consumer journalism.
So I was the gotcha girl, and they told her to be the consumer journalism, so
Right.
she wouldn't get in trouble. I get in all the trouble. So after I got in all the trouble, they let her do the consumer journalism.
Right.
And so it's been a good run for us, and we're just excited. And Focus, again, is decluttering your life, getting back on track with whatever is going on with you. Mm-hmm. So we have something called Hot Topic, but I call it Double Trouble. Now, which one is in trouble today, Rhonda?
I don't know.
The hot topic is?
Procrastinators. We're talking about taxes.
We're talking about taxes.
So, okay, so there was this survey done about the top, cities for procrastinators, folks who wait till the very last minute to file their taxes. And guess who's at the top of the list? What city?
Who would be, oh my God, that's a good question. Who would procrastinate? Why? Because they're by the beach, they're in California, they're in New York. I can see those people procrastinating.
Atlanta.
Oh.
All the procrastinators are in Atlanta.
Because they're partying too much. From Birmingham, I know if you're going over there, I know what you're doing.
Followed by Orlando, Salt Lake City, Miami, and Fort Lauderdale is number 5.
Okay, so I had 3 because they're by what?
By the water.
By the water, lavish places, beach, you're relaxing, having some lemonade, not spiked.
Yeah.
And so I could see those, that's what I said, procrastinators have probably got other stuff to do like relax.
Yeah, I guess.
But I didn't call Atlanta. I wouldn't have called Atlanta.
Well, it says here that 31% of Americans say they procrastinate. They wait until the last minute to file their taxes. Nearly 1/4, 24%, expect their refund to be less than what they received last year. And 69% said they don't even know what day tax day falls on.
Why? Why don't you know what day tax day? I know, look, traditionally it falls, we'll get with our guests on that in a minute, but traditionally it always falls for the rest of your life on April 15th. For the rest of your life, no matter what year, unless there's a disaster, they extend, or COVID when they get.
That should be burned in our brain like April 15th. Like, who forgets that?
I don't. April 15th is a staple in my life because every time, and you're like this because you're consumer journalism, April 15th for me is when I know I've got to have my taxes filed. But guess what else I do? I check on, did the insurance go up on my car? Do I need to adjust that? Do I need to adjust my cell phone plan?
That's a good idea.
Do I need to look at my mortgage rate and try to refinance? So April 15th for me is to reestablish my year. And so I look at everything.
I love that.
April 15th or in the week of April 15th that, okay, if I'm trying to do my taxes, what else has changed? What else has changed? So that's something I've been doing for years, and nobody taught me that. I just came up with, if it's going to be April 15th, my lawn guy might need to change. I'm changing you out. I'm just letting you know that you don't need to come back to my house.
Oh, wow.
I'm doing it right here on TV.
Okay, then.
Lawn man.
Back to the topic.
Fired.
Procrastinators. So are you a procrastinator?
I plead the fifth. Well, I like personal attention from my tax preparers, so I generally would file an extension. Shout out to April Williams, who used to do that tax segment with the U.S. Postal Service, and we would do that, and I would do that every day on live TV. Every year I would say, I'm filing an extension. But part of it has to be that I want my tax preparer to pay a little more attention to me so I can make sure I get it right. That's part of it. And tax preparers this time of year, they're just so overwhelmed. I typically want it to slow down. Now, that's just my motto. I don't encourage that, of course. I encourage that you file by April 15th. Therefore, I guess I'm a procrastinator. procrastinator?
I'm a procrastinator. It's not because I want attention from my tax preparer. I just wait to the last minute. I don't know if it's the journalist in me, because we typically we feed off of that adrenaline with deadlines.
That's true.
And so when we know we have a lot of time to do something, we put it off. And so I'm a procrastinator. I do not file my taxes early. I say I'm going to do it every year. I don't do it. I do not do it. So.
Well, really?
We got the right lady with us today. She's going to get us in shape.
I know. I did not call you as a procrastinator in Texas. You're such a stickler. You know, so I'm like sweating trying to get over here to tape this show. And because Rhonda Robinson's clocking me at the door like the old days when you had if your pizza was late from Domino's, you're like, that's Rhonda Robinson. So I never would have called you to be a procrastinator for your taxes. That just floors me.
I keep putting it off. I don't know why. I don't have to, but I do.
Okay, well, with that,
we got the right lady with us.
We got the right lady. We're going to go into Toya, and we're going to let Rhonda Robinson tell you exactly who our non-procrastinator is. I can't even say the word, but that's why, because I'm procrastinating.
Toya is joining us to tell us all about what is taxes, right? And what we can do to be better. So Toya, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We like to have a lot of fun, as you can see, so don't take us seriously. We just, we laugh a little bit and we work real hard, and that's how it goes. So tell us a little bit about what can we do as taxpayers to better prepare for tax season, so maybe it's not so overwhelming?
Yeah, so what I would suggest to better prepare for tax season is honestly, don't wait till January.
Okay.
Don't wait till January to prepare. The prior year, mailing come out, statements come out. You can find a lot of statements online.
Okay.
Go ahead and start gathering that information. I like to tell my clients, as the mail come in, grab your shoebox.
Okay.
And if you don't want to look at it, throw everything important that says tax related, tax documents, put it in your shoebox. And once you have acquired all the documents you need, take your documents to your tax professional and file your taxes. Most people procrastinate because they're scrambling around looking for the important documents. Maybe it came in the mail, kids check the mail, and throw it down or misplace it, and we're having to look for it. So the best thing to do to help jumpstart it is get the information out the mail and just put it all together in a safe space.
Is there like a checklist that you give your clients so they kind of know what documents to be looking for throughout the year?
We do have a checklist. Our checklist is going to always be online on our website. You can go to the website. We like to instruct our clients, even the new clients, to go onto the website and look and see, because it's so much various different forms for every single body. Your situation may not fit my situation, so some of those forms may not be relevant to you. So I definitely would recommend going onto our website, even if you're not our client, www.simpletaxsolutions.info. You can find a checklist there where you can see if any of that information pertains to you, because you may miss something and say, aha, I see I need to file this form. I do have this form. That's a great reminder to keep you in line for filing your taxes, and also making sure that you're providing your tax professional all necessary documents to prepare an accurate tax return. So there isn't any problems with the IRS.
Cool. Are there any like little known things, like facts that people may forget about or they don't know that could possibly save them money?
Absolutely. Most people forget sometimes that they had part-time jobs. I see that a lot. I see a lot of W-2s get missing just because they forgot that they may have worked a part-time job for a week or 2 weeks, maybe even a month. So I like to tell my clients to file as soon as possible, but I also like to tell my clients, wait to make sure you have everything you need.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a question as well. Speaking of that part-time, you know, people do have a lot of quote unquote side hustles, side gigs, whatever you want to call it today.
Especially since COVID.
Yeah, especially since COVID. What is your advice on that? Are they supposed to get the 1099 from the person they hired, or how does that work in your world? What would help you as a tax preparer when somebody says, I've got 5 more jobs?
Yeah.
So every hustle doesn't require a 1099.
Okay.
It depends on how much you make.
Okay.
Now, especially if you're in the hustle as an entrepreneur yourself, you're not working for nobody. You're not going to issue yourself a 1099. I like to tell taxpayers, you need to proper bookkeeping.
Okay.
Oh.
You need to proper bookkeeping. The IRS wants anyone who has a business and you're in business for profit.
Okay.
No matter how much you made, if you intend to make profit on this business, you have a small business and the IRS wants you to file that small business.
Regardless of how much you make.
Regardless of how much you make. Keep in mind, as you're building your business, you may have startup costs, you may have out-of-pocket costs. Those things are great, and you can claim that, which could increase your refund because you have expenses in your business that you can claim.
Write-offs.
Write-offs. That's exactly what it is. So it's important to do very good bookkeeping so that you can keep up with it. Even if you don't do bookkeeping, at least keep your receipts that you use. I like to encourage clients to stick to maybe one credit card.
Oh, that's
Purchasing items because you could pull the statement, the 12-month statement, and it's easy to filter through those statements. So it's many ways that you can do this so you're not procrastinating and file an accurate tax return.
Let me ask you about Cash App, because there's some people who like it, there's some people who have concerns with it. So, and a lot of money is exchanged through Cash App. People pay for services through Cash App. Like, are there any red flags? Are there any concerns about using that as an entrepreneur or even accepting payment? Like if I work part-time for a catering gig and they paid me $50 for the day, how do you track stuff on Cash App for tax purposes?
Cash App is okay.
Okay.
But I will say that's not the best way.
Okay.
Okay?
Right, I agree.
When handling money, especially on the business,
Okay.
you need a business bank account. And it's more presentable to have a business bank account versus Cash App, because I'm a person who really doesn't like paying for business services through Cash App. Although you can have a business Cash App account.
Okay, so there is a business Cash App. I did not know that.
I have one.
And depending how much you make, you can get a 1099.
Okay.
Right. Now, I just had this, Rhonda, I just had this, on the way to this shop, I just told one of the people I work with, good morning to you, or good evening to you, good afternoon to you, Gardendale Pickers, booth number 51. So, shameless plug. And I just, and I hope my friend Karen is looking, because I just said, she says, you know what, we got to do our split, blah, 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 just Cash App me. And I'm like, well, I don't Cash App because of my business. My accountant said that's not smart. Now the tax preparer just told me, because I don't have the business Cash App because I don't use it, because it hit me one day, I sent the wrong person cash and they wouldn't send it back. I know who you are. I know who you are. So anyway, doing that, and she just kind of like, well, just send it to so-and-so. And then, so I told so-and-so, I said, I can't even send it to you. They're like, well, do you have Apple Pay? And I finally said, ladies, I run a business and I prefer to do it on my business card and or by check. I still have an old-fashioned checking account because of my tracking, because of taxes. And they didn't, they were like, really? And I know as I'm driving feverishly over here, they didn't understand that. So I want to thank you for telling people, girl, just send it, girl, just send it to my friend, she good, or send it to my daughter. I said, I don't do my business like that. So I think she was offended. I'm sorry, Karen.
But I can understand how it could be, you could forget about it and then forget to file it or include it in your total when you're filing your taxes. I could see how
because you're not really tracking it, so you're not really tracking it. And especially if it was a business expense. You may have forgot.
I can't even put it on there. I'm just
Karen
gonna eat it.
Cash App and I forgot that I paid for that, which is a business expense that you can claim and help yourself. So you want to streamline it. You definitely want to streamline it and be very smart about it. Because Cash App is not an FDIC bank.
Right.
That's another thing.
Oh, that is a very good thing. You heard that, not an FDIC bank.
I do get a 1099 from them though, and it gives me a report. So I can print out a report that shows, how much money went through my Cash App.
But you have a business Cash App.
It is a business Cash App.
Which is different. Which is totally different. And so, well, that was interesting because literally on the way over here, I just had this discussion. And Karen, not that Karen, but that Karen and Gaston, I'll be talking to you a little later.
She is shouting out people in the show. Okay, while you shouting people out, give us our tips, okay? We got some tips from irs.gov that Sheila pulled up that would be very helpful for folks during tax season.
Okay, let's go through irs.gov and go through the tips. What kind of tax preparer do I need? Okay, folks, these are the type of tax preparers you need. Anyone can be a paid tax return preparer as long as they have an IRS preparer tax identification number, PTIN. However, tax return preparers have differing levels of skills, education, expertise, and you can learn about that. Go to irs.gov on that. Also, credentials and qualifications, how to choose a tax preparer wisely, or get some volunteer income tax assistance, which is VITA, VITA, and that's usually been a free program. Now, how can I check a tax preparer's credentials? Our directory, that's IRS directory of federal tax return preparers with credentials and select qualifications. So irs.gov, you can go in, hit that link, and you can help find preparers in your area who are currently holding their professional credentials recognized by the IRS. You have a recognized IRS professional here today, or who hold an annual filing season program record of completion. And you can also check the professional organizations many tax preparers do belong to. And last but not least, what if I have a complaint about a tax preparer? Okay, tax return preparer fraud is among the list of common tax scams. Be careful out there. There's some scammers going on around tax season. The IRS does provide tips on avoiding unscrupulous tax preparers and is committed to investigating paid tax return preparers who act improperly. So you have a mechanism to complain. Make a complaint if you have been financially impacted by tax return preparers, misconduct, or improper tax preparation practices. You have a recourse, you have a voice, and they are your advocate. IRS.gov, go to IRS.gov. Rhonda?
Awesome. So I wanted to chat briefly with Toya before we get out of here, because you have a tax school.
I do.
So not only does she prepare taxes for taxpayers, but you teach tax professionals how to do all of this.
I do.
Wow.
I do.
That's amazing.
So tell us about it.
So my tax school is IRS accredited. It's Mind Your Assets Tax School.
Okay, cool.
Mind your assets tax. Mind your own assets.
Like minding your own business.
Yeah. Or covering your, don't say that on TV, Sheila.
You got it.
So tell us about it. So how do you sign up? How much is it? How long does it last? All that.
So it's an 11-week course.
Okay.
It's strictly online. I'm in Pelham, Alabama, so we also hold in-person classes. Okay. So students have the opportunity to come in and get hands-on training. Even if they're out of town, we have students from all over California, Georgia, South Carolina, Texas, you name it. Even though they're not within the city limits, we spend that one-on-one time with that student, whether it's through Zoom or whether it's over the phone, to make sure the student understands. This is a comprehension course. It is $1,400. Okay. but you get to learn the ins and outs. We teach you personal taxes. We teach you business taxes. Not only that, you have the opportunity to have guaranteed job placement. I work with other tax professionals.
Okay.
I've partnered with other tax professionals all over Alabama, and what we do is once you graduate out of the 11-week course, we provide you with the opportunity to come in and work in any one of our offices that you choose, so that you can start getting your feet wet and really start making your money back from tuition.
All right.
So we do that. Even if they're out of town in other cities and states, we offer work from home, where we will provide laptop, we will provide everything that tax professional needs to have a successful tax season.
That's awesome.
So they're not just out here, because I can remember when I first started preparing taxes, it was scary, it was very scary. Yeah. You don't want to mess anybody up. You don't want to put the wrong things on the tax return. So because I experienced that, that's the reason why I wanted to make sure that once the tax professional graduates from my academy, they're just not put out there. Not only that helps the taxpayer who has to come in and file their taxes, because that taxpayer would know that tax professional will have a senior tax professional to overlook any tax returns that's inputted before it's sent off to the IRS. So if there's any changes that needs to be made, that senior tax professional will catch their error, and it will be made. That saves the taxpayer and that saves the tax professional from any fines and penalties.
Right.
Let me ask you, how did you decide to become a tax preparer? I heard somebody mess you up?
Well, honestly, I was in high school.
Wow.
I was in high school in co-op. I co-op. And so in co-op, we had to prepare our own tax return by hand.
Oh, wow.
By hand. Well, as I was doing it, I said, I like this. I felt empowered because I had classmates asking me to help them complete their tax return. So maybe years later, I had the opportunity to work in a tax office under somebody.
Okay.
And I absolutely enjoyed it.
Really? So
You were in high school.
Well, after I graduated, when I was in high school is when we completed it by hand.
Okay.
After I graduated, I had the opportunity to work in a tax office, and I absolutely enjoyed it. I absolutely enjoyed the connection with the community. I enjoyed teaching and educating. It's more than just inputting data into the computer. It's educating. And so I enjoyed it, and from there, after I felt, took a couple of classes with the IRS, started getting certified, I said it's time.
Yeah.
time to start your own thing.
How old can you?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Taxes, like.
You need to be at least 18 to have a PTIN.
Okay.
And that's
That gives you that certification. I want to ask you, what kind of background do I have to? Well, I guess you have to like numbers to some extent.
I guess.
I'm not the math person that you want to hire ever, but I guess you gotta like putting in data. Yeah. You gotta like math. I mean, who should take your class and what should they prepare? Just they say, come and see if you like. If you don't,
Well, math is a part of it, but it's not all of it. So I wouldn't discourage anyone. If you don't like math, I would not discourage you to not enroll because it's a software.
Oh, that makes me feel really good.
It's a software.
That takes me to my happy place.
Not me. She already knows that. Not me. I ain't happy about none of that.
So the biggest part is, do you like to study, learn, fast-paced environment, forever changing tax laws, and honestly, dealing with the public?
Yeah, dealing with the public. Now, I like that part. But I will probably push them off to you after saying, hello, welcome to the tax place. Yes, that would be.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great career. It's a great career. And it just doesn't stop at preparing taxes. You can continue to take continuing education classes and move your career further like I did.
Awesome.
How does it, last thing people want to know, can they make money doing this? Is it a good income to help your family to do things that you want to do? or is it just something I need to have as a side gig?
Okay, so it can be as lucrative as you would like it. What you put into it is exactly what you're going to get out of it. So being a tax professional, you can absolutely take care of a family the entire 12 months.
Wow.
And work for. I've done it.
Wow.
I've done it, but I got bored throughout the year.
Okay.
And I had to find more things to do. So I just added different services to the tax profession, and it allows me to keep my doors open year round.
Okay.
All right.
Well, Toya, thank you so much. I've learned so much today.
I did too. I didn't even know they had other services to keep you from being bored. Because I was like, they just do taxes 3 months, and then what do they do then? You just lots of other things to do. We're really proud to honored that you have joined us.
Business taxes.
See, Rhonda,
I'm going to sign up for her class.
I'm not, but I'm going to encourage all of you. We're going to give you all of that information to focus on our tax preparer and getting her information. One more time on your information. How can we get in touch with you?
You can. I work at Simple Tax Solutions, which is in Pelham, Alabama. That's 2080 Highway 33. Or you can visit us on the website, www.simpletexsolutions.info.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. If you're wondering, Birmingham is number 19 on that list that I told you about.
Procrastinators for taxes?
Atlanta's number 1. Birmingham's number 19. I think our time's up, folks. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to Focus and hanging out with Sheila, Rhonda, and Toya. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.